Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Mike with the digital team, and I'm going to show you how to clean up this image. So I got this image from one of our group members, Donna, and it has lots of problems when you look at it closely. It has what we call JPEG artifacts. So something is causing everything that she's sending me. I don't know if it's coming through text message, maybe on a Droid. Maybe it's iPhone to Droid. I'm not sure what it is, but it's causing these squares. And these squares are not even normal. Those aren't pixels. Those are just really odd artifacts that's happening. You know, every time you transmit an image, when you transmit an image in any way, it usually loses some kind of quality unless you store it in a Google Drive and then you send it that way. You send a link to the Google Drive. Then you're not going to have any problems. So, you know, it's just made a mockery of his poor nose here. And it's created these big lines like through his lips. So the image is just is pretty much garbage as it is. It's not something that's worth using unless we try to enhance it. And in this case, I've used Gemini. Usually I use ChatGPT. But for photorealistic images, you know, Gemini is the answer. For a lot of things, actually, Gemini does a better job than ChatGPT. Knowing when to use which one is part of the secret sauce, you know, these days when you're working with AI. So Gemini's just done an absolutely perfect job, in my opinion. I don't know what this young man looked like before, but I know what he looks a lot better now. I don't know what he looks like in real life. I know what he looks like before. He looks a lot better now than he did before. Okay, so let's get into actually fixing this image. So I'm just going to go and take that Gemini generated image and upscale it. So you just pull it into upscale. I went with 3x. I upscaled it. I've already tested this process, so I'm not going to show that part to you because it's already done. And then I came up with this Tate Butts Black. It's 6,600 pixels, so way bigger than what we need. And I opened that up with Photoshop. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is just adjust the levels. So I'm going to do layer, new adjustment layer, and I'm just going to do levels and hit OK. And then I've got my sliders up here. So here's my levels. And I'm just going to bring in the black, and that's going to like preserve all these, it's going to make all these edges extremely black. But my problem is that I actually want to not do that so much on the shirt. So I'm just going to do my magnetic lasso tool, and I'm just going to go around the shirt. Okay, so I'm just selecting around the shirt here. And then I'm going to hold Shift. And I'm going to select around his head too, get this hair. Oh, it just kind of dipped into his nose, and now I got a problem there. So let me show you how to solve that. So I'm going to hold Alt and deselect that part, just circle around what I don't want, and then I'm going to hold Shift and come in here and get that nostril that's trying to sneak away from us there. Okay, and I'm just going to Control C and then Control Shift V so that he's not as affected by these levels. I'm really just wanting to hit this outside in this text really hard. Okay, so let's merge all that down. I just selected all those layers and hit Control E. And now we're going to go for our actual size. So let's crop in. Just going to go right to the edge of these dots. It's okay if I clip a couple of them, but I don't want to make a hard line. So we're just coming right in to like crop that in. Let's crop. Then we're going to do image size. And I'm going to turn on resample, and I'm going to set the resolution to 300. And then I'm going to set my size to 10.75. I'm just making an arbitrary decision because I haven't heard an answer back on the actual width. So I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to save. So now I'm going to export this. And I'm exporting this as Tape Butts Black 10.75 inch. You can see I've already done that before. And now I'm actually going to close this one. And I'm going to open that 10.75 inch. So I'm just going to come down here and open with Photoshop. And there we go. Now I don't want the half-toning process to hurt his face. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's duplicate this layer on a new document. So I just have this one open, and then this is my new document. And then I'm just going to select just around his face. So let's just get his whole head again. We just don't want this to be as affected by the half-toning. I need to be careful around that nostril. We've learned our lesson. Oh, it's still sucked over to it. I need to be zoomed in more. So this time I'm just getting his face. I'm just getting his head. So I'm just going to do that same trick. I'm going to hold shift because I didn't intend it to follow that. Okay, and we're going to pick up this nostril. Okay. Yep, other than that, I think we're doing pretty good. And I'm just going to hit Control-C, Control-Shift-V, and then I'm going to duplicate this layer over on that untitled. So we just have just his head. Okay. And then I'm just going to merge that back down. There's no reason to even do that. Just I need to delete it or merge it or get rid of it. Okay, so now we're going to perform the halftone. So our size is correct, and we're going to hit play on our actions. So you won't have these actions. I'm showing you this so that you understand how to do this and how it's done, and so that you can understand what our team can do. We do hope to release these actions one day. We just need to get them rebranded. That's all it is. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play on this black knockout tweakable, and you're going to at least get to see what happens behind the scenes. So this is now, I'm going to be controlling how soft this is. The more I drag this way, the more we're actually going to preserve of the color in the document, and the light parts are going to, the all white parts are not going to be affected. So let's go there. 75 I usually find is pretty good. Sometimes I'll work with all these sliders. I'm going to try this. Pretty awesome. Now there's this curves that are on there that I don't think are helping us, and there's this color and vibrance. It's maybe a little more than I'd like to see in the mountains and such. So I'm actually going to revert. So I'm just going to hit File, Revert. F12, and I'm going to play that action again, and I'm going to hit continue. I'm going to go a little more extreme this time, down into the 50s, and I'm even going to back this out a bit, just this left clipping side, okay? Then I'm going to hit OK, 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 and that's better. I don't like the curves for this image. I'm not sure that I like the color and vibrance. I'm just going to let that be, and I'm going to take this floating head here and see how that looks back on the original. Pretty good. So now we saved his face completely, but the rest of this is going to feel super soft. When I turn this black layer off, you can see what it's going to look like. So now I need to get this image back to Donna in a way that's not going to harm it. So I am going to do image trim transparent pixels just in case. I didn't think that it would move much, and it didn't. But I want to export this as a PNG, and I'm going to say 10.75 inch half-toned. Okay? And now in order to preserve the quality when I send it back to her, I have to send it through the Google Drive. So I'm just going to take that image, and I'm going to drop it up here in the Google Drive, and instead of sending the image back through Facebook or any other way, I'm just going to copy that link, and I'm going to go back to our Facebook page and go to the Crystal I'm going to go to the Crystal DTF official and I'm going to find that image. And I'm just going to say, here is the link to the half-toned image. Okay, I'm trying to type here, I guess. Boom, paste. And then I'm going to also upload the image here so she can see what it looks like. So you don't want to use this one that I've posted. You don't want to use the Facebook, because Facebook, what it's done is it's turned it back to a JPEG and put that white background back on it. So we don't want to use this one. We want to follow the link to the drive, and then we want to download it. So you're just going to go to File, Download, right here. And that way you're downloading the full quality. And when you do download it, it should be 3,225 pixels wide and about 10.3 megabytes. Hey, I hope this explained a lot, and I hope it helps. Take care.